who turned pro in 2000. He's a graduate of Troy University in Alabama. He currently lives in Dothan, Alabama. He's coming off his best season on the nationwide tour in 2011 when he finished 28th on the money list with more than $169,000 in earnings. Last year, he also money qualified into the Honda Classic on the PGA Tour and finished T47 in his only career PGA Tour start. He is the only professional golfer to play every shot cross-handed, and just to keep things interested, he putts left-handed. And his wife, Tina, and two boys, Alex and Sam, are also in the audience with us today, guys. Hey, Josh, talk a little bit about how you get started playing cross-handed. It's pretty unique, and I remember the first time I saw you hit a golf ball, it hurt me. So talk a little bit about playing cross-handed.
Yeah, you know, I'm naturally left-handed, and growing up playing baseball, batting left-handed, that's just I hit a baseball obviously left-handed, and my grandfather taught me how to play the game down in Rockledge, Florida. And when I would go down there in the summers, he didn't have any left-handed clubs. So I just took right-handed clubs and held them like a left-handed baseball bat and started playing that way. And actually had a bullseye putter that was two-sided so I could actually putt left-handed. So started doing it that way when I was 5 and still doing it today. But when I was about 14, my grandfather, who was a really good player, he tried to get me to switch. You know, he said, if you're ever going to be any good or going to play, you're going to have to switch your grip. And I tried to switch and hold it standard, and I couldn't get it in the air, and I could turn my hands around cross-handed and hit it pretty good. So finally I just said, the heck with it, I'm just going to stick with it. So that's the way it started, and I don't think I'm changing anytime soon.
All right, I know you were a lifelong Georgia Bulldog fan, and you really wanted to play college golf there. You kind of got an interesting story about your recruitment or lack thereof, and give the audience that story.
Yeah, I've been going to Georgia football games since I was little, so that was my dream, was to, I was going to play college golf at Georgia. So kept writing the coach a letter, and we're getting no response. Then finally, he said, he would talk to me, so we went up to see him, and I'll leave his name out, but so I went up to see him, and he basically just said, well, you're not going to play Division I golf with that grip, I'll just go ahead and tell you. So I was like, I was 17 years old. Okay, well, he probably knows, so I don't think anything about it. So then I go to so now I'm like, what am I going to do? So I go to Auburn and talk to Coach Griffin, who was nice, and he basically said, you're not going to play Division I golf with that grip. So I was like, all right. So he actually did me a favor, though. He called the coach down at Troy, Barney Burnett, and he said, listen, there's this kid up here that plays cross-handed that, he's not good enough to play for me, but I think he can probably play for you guys. So Coach Burnett calls me up, so I go over there, meet him, like the place, thought it was cool. And so I'm like, all right, he goes, we don't have any scholarship money left, but I'll let you walk on. So I was like, okay, great. That's, I just wanted a chance to play anywhere. I didn't care where. So we have to start the season, he has an 8-round qualifier with everybody. And I won the 8-round qualifier by 15 shots, I think. And suddenly there was some scholarship money available. So I wound up going to Troy, and my freshman year we're playing in Auburn's tournament up in Alabama's tournament, up in Montgomery. And so all SEC schools were there, Georgia, Auburn, everybody. So the first day it's about 55 degrees and raining, wind blowing, and I think I shot 68. And it was brutal, and I was winning by 4 after the first day. And we come walking in, and there's Georgia's coach and Coach Griffin from Auburn. And I just kind of looked at them, and they just kind of looked at me like, that's that kid that I told wasn't ever going to play Division I golf. So I actually wound up not winning the tournament, but I finished 3rd, and it was a really cool experience to kind of give it back to those two a little bit. But it was kind of funny.
All right, over the years, how many different players, coaches, agents, whatever, have tried to get you to change your swing? And when you do need help with your swing, who do you go to help you?
Yeah, I've never really had many, per se, lessons, so nobody's really tried to change me. My brother's kind of my teacher. He's 5 years older than me, and I only have a couple tendencies when I start hitting it a little offline and or hitting it bad. And so I'll go see him. But, nobody's really tried to change me. Most people out here, the players and guys, most of them, I've been out here long enough that, they've all seen me before. The young guys like Wes and them are probably like, what is this guy doing? But most of the older guys, like on the end of the table, they've all seen me hit it. So
you never get used to it.
it's definitely different. It's like I used to tell Patrick was, seemed like when I first got out here, 2003 was my first year, and every town we went to, every Tuesday or Wednesday, the media wanted to talk to me about my grip. How do you play that way? Da da da. So finally, I told Patrick, I said, I think I'm going to just get a computer, printout and leave it in my bag, and just when they ask, I'm just going to start handing them out. Just read it. Here's the story. Just read it. I told it so many times, but it's fun. I guess any press is good press, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
But as far as teaching, just my brother. We work some when we have time. He's got 2 little kids of his own and has his own life, so I try not to bother him too much.
Talk a little bit about equipment. What equipment are you playing? Irons, woods, and why?
I play TaylorMade. Switched to TaylorMade, I guess, 2 years ago. I'm kind of like most guys. I guess we've all kind of tinkered around with most all the equipment. TaylorMade's been good to me. Everything. Nowadays, pretty much everybody makes good equipment. Very, very few are better than the others. Pretty much everything's good. But TaylorMade's been good to me. I love their stuff. I play their driver and 3 wood and irons. But I started with them 2 years ago. It's been a great relationship for me. They help out with my tournament I put on. They help give me the prizes for my tournament that I put on in the first part of the year. So, they've been great company for me.
I just wanted to clarify it didn't have anything to do with the fact they're paying you, so that's good to know.
I was going to leave that out.
Got to get you to tell one of life's most embarrassing moments. You Monday qualify into the Honda event down in West Palm Beach. First time you're going to make a career PGA Tour start. You play your practice round with 2 of your best friends, Boo Weekley and Blake Adams, and they get a guy named Kenny Perry to be your 4th. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool week. I was down playing little winter events, and I happened to I told my wife, I was like, I'm just going to stay down here and try to Monday for Honda. And she's like, all right, so, you'll be home Tuesday. Yeah, I'll be home Tuesday, as usual. So I go down, I get paired. I'm in a twosome, the first group out at the qualifier, and I play about 9 holes under pretty good, nice conditions. And I shot 6 under on the front 9, and then it started blowing about 40 miles an hour. So I got a really good break. And so I wound up getting in the event, called Boo and Blake, and they're like, just, stay with us tonight. And I'm like, stay with y'all? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, we used to 3 wide in the Hooters events. Now y'all playing on the PGA Tour making millions of dollars. We're going to stay 3 to a room, So I'm like, sure, so we do. So it was, we hung out, had a big time. So Monday night we're down in the lobby, and Kenny Perry comes walking up. They've been playing a bunch with him, so he asked who was, y'all playing tomorrow. Boo's like, yeah, come on play with us. Josh is going to play. So they introduced me to Kenny. Super nice. So we go out, we play, we have a great time. I picked his brain a lot, talked a lot. He was very helpful with the golf course and, telling me places to hit it, not to hit it. And just, really great guy. And so we get to 17. 17. It's one of the toughest par 3s out there. And so we're walking up to the green, and for some ungodly reason, obviously, I'm from Georgia, so what's the greatest golf tournament in the world? The Masters, obviously. So we're walking up to 17, and I look at Kenny, and I say, we're just getting up on the green. And I look at Kenny, and I said, man, I was really pulling for you, when you won the Masters that year. And he goes, ha! And he kind of laughs, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I was pulling for him. How does he know if I was pulling for him or not? I said, well, I was pulling for you. And he goes, I didn't win the Masters, kid. I lost to Cabrera in the playoff. And I went, Oh, God. So Blake, I look up. Blake's heard the whole conversation. He is laying in the bunker laughing. Boo's doubled over on the green crying. And I am just like, oh. And I just walked off the green. I just went over to the 18th tee. I was like, I got to get out of here. I was so embarrassed. So then we're walking down 18, and Blake's like, what were you thinking? I'm like, I don't know. I know he didn't win. I don't know what made me say that. So anyway, so it was pretty bad. Well, then on Friday, I'm on the putting green, and you know how you can kind of feel somebody coming up behind you. And so I'm standing there hitting these putts, and I can kind of feel somebody behind me, and I hear this voice that go, and his son caddies for him, Justin, and I hear this voice go, you know, Justin, I kind of forgot about losing that Masters till old Broadaway brought it up this week. And I was like, and then he was great about it. I mean, he picked at me the whole week about it, but it was totally in fun. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, to say the least.
All right, you're basically coming up on where you seem to play the best every year. You finished second in Columbus, I believe, last year. You finished Springfield third. You played well in Omaha. You've played well in Knoxville. Next 6-8 weeks pretty important to you. How you feel about your golf game right now?
Yeah, you know it is. It's a big stretch coming up for me. But you know I've actually been playing really well all year. Just hadn't really been scoring well. I think my stroke average on Sunday is about 75, which is never good, especially on Sunday. So I've put myself in position a few times. Athens, I had a good chance, just didn't play well on the weekend. Raleigh, I had a chance with 10 or 11 holes to go and just kind of, let it get away from me. And, I think I've been pushing a little bit, trying to break through. And, I was close last year to get my card. And I just think early on in the year I've kind of put a little too much pressure on myself to perform. And when I get in those positions, feeling like, all right, this is it, I got to make it happen, instead of just letting it come to me. And so I feel like my game's really good, really sharp. I had a really good week in Salt Lake last week. I finished 19th, but I didn't score well at all the entire week and was still right there. So I'm definitely, I got a lot of confidence. These events coming up, I've played well at. Columbus is, I don't know. I'm not a big Ohio State fan, but you would think I am. I play well there every year, it seems like, at the course there at the Scarlet. But, I'm looking forward to it. I got my secret weapons out with me these next 2 weeks. I seem to always play well when they're out, so looking forward to it.
All right, last question. You had the opportunity to play out at Fox Den yesterday afternoon. Condition of the golf course. I know Scott's here. He always does a fantastic job, but they've made a lot of changes over the last year, which I think the players have really enjoyed. Kind of talk a little bit about the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. We played yesterday, a little wet. Obviously they've been getting a lot of rain, like everybody has, I think. But you can tell the course is full. It's got a lot of grass on it. Greens look good. Fairways were perfect. Looks like they could have a little rough if they wanted to. But I was telling Dana yesterday when we were playing, I was like, this place is going to be perfect, by the time the tournament gets here. So, it looks good. I think the new bunkering is awesome. I think it's made it a lot better. All the work they did and the work that they did on the ponds, making the rock walls there, it looks good. They definitely, you can tell Fox Den's decided that, they want it to be a first-class deal, and it is,